Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the King's Court YouCast once again, all alone. My name is Derek the Ginger King, going to be talking to you about all of your lovely NBA basketball news. Here is your starting five lineup. Number one, Christmas games. Yes, I sat and watched them. Not as many as I wanted to, but I did watch quite a bit of Cleveland and Lakers. Other than that, I didn't really see much of the other ones. I saw the AC brawl in the New York Knicks game, so that was really good. I enjoyed that. So that's number one. Number two, Josh Smith's move to Houston. I'm gonna kind of discuss why it's a great move for him and how it helps the Houston Rockets. Number three, Rookie Watch. NBA.com put out an article showcasing what the rookies are doing, and they kind of did the top 10. Our boy on Utah Jazz hitting, I think it was number 8 or 9 or something, and deservingly so. He's not that good of a rookie compared to others. Number 4, significant injuries. I'm going to go down the whole list of injuries in the NBA. Not every single person is going to be talked about. That's why it's called significant injuries. These are players who I feel are significant to their teams in some way or another, and I'm going to give you their timetables. Number 5, Portland seeking a title. Interestingly enough, I've got a new series debuting involving the Portland Trail Blazers, and that should be coming out when it's completed, at least for the first year. So the debut episode will be out in the next couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks from now or so. And then, of course, we have our Jesters and our Royals with some fun stuff in this rendition of Jesters and Royals. So it should be really good. And let's get started, shall we? Okay, so Christmas games. I'm just going to go down the list. First, New York Knicks, Washington. Washington winning 102-91. New York Knicks again losing. I think they're now at a 9-game losing streak, and that is intense. Like, that's very strange. They're busted up too. A lot of them are injured. No streakers this week, so I'm going to kind of go over the streaks. There's no real significant winning streaks this week, but there are a couple of losing ones. So New York was one of those. They have lost 9 in a row as of January 1st, 2015. Wow, new year. Welcome to the new year, people. Maybe I should do some resolutions at the end. I think I'll do a couple resolutions at the end. So that'll be added on to the slate. OKC versus San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs are losing their grip, man, aren't they? But as long as they make it into the playoffs, they have a fair shot. As I said last week, the West is the wild, wild West. This place is absolutely nuts. Like, I can't tell you who's going to win. I give you a hint a little later. Number 5 on our starting lineup, Portland Trail Blazers is who I would kind of back if I were backing anybody. Their games have been so exciting to watch this year. But OKC is coming back. Durant is back in action last night, 44 points in his return from his ankle injury. So, I mean, this guy's not missing a step. Even though he, can hardly walk on his ankle, he's still putting up crazy numbers, and he very well might be back in my MVP watch in a future episode. But OKC is roaring back, and San Antonio's losing their grip. Portland's at the top. They've overtaken the Golden State Warriors, so it's kind of crazy. It's insane. It's insanity. The West is very, very fun to watch right now. And it's so weird, because being a Jazz fan, I watch the Jazz play, and I wouldn't call myself an expert, because lately I just go, it's not that exciting. It's not that fun to watch. It's almost like watching the MLS, the Major League Soccer, and then switching over and watching the BPL, the Barclays Premier League. The difference in skill alone makes the game so much more entertaining. And when Utah faces like Minnesota or Philadelphia, and that's what they did the past week, and it's just like, I don't want to watch those games, especially when they struggled to win those games. So, I don't know. See, when they played the Clippers, I was very excited because Blake Griffin has some beef with one of our guys, Trevor Booker, and it got a little heated, it got a little crazy, and it was a good game. But the West right now is just so entertaining to watch. It's making me a lesser Jazz fan because of it, damn it. So come on, Jazz, get in there. Throw your names in the hat. I want a crazy West season this season. I want it to be so up in the air about who's going to win. But, so, yeah, there you go. OKC taking the win off of San Antonio. Cleveland falling to Miami. LeBron's return to Miami didn't go the way he planned. I didn't see the end of that game because I fell asleep, damn it, but I did watch the beginning of it. It got pretty intense at the end. I watched some highlights on it on Inside the NBA with Shaq, Kenny Jet Smith. And it was good. It was really good. Like, that game I would have wanted to watch. It seems up till the end of it when they were shooting free throws, but man, that game. There's some injured people in Miami too. Not for very long, but there are some significant injuries coming your way for Cleveland. Miami, though. Did I miss Miami? Or is Bosch back in the lineup? Bosch might be back in the lineup because I don't remember writing his name down in those injuries, and I thought he was out. So he's probably back in the lineup now. Cleveland, though, falling on Christmas Day. His return to Miami, I thought were mixed reactions. I thought a lot of people were booing him, but many more people cheered him, and deservingly so. The guy gave the two titles to that town in 2 consecutive years, left a legacy. You can't. How do you boo LeBron James if he gave you 2 titles? He left, but I don't know. The LeBron haters are very confusing to me. I just don't, especially if you're a Miami fan, I just don't understand. Like, I can understand if you're a Cleveland fan and he left your place, whatever, that's cool. But he came back, and how do you boo him? How? It's just so strange. And here's the other thing, is that people say he is never going to be as good as Michael Jordan. That's okay. But listen, Kobe Bryant may have skill, but he's fallen off this year. Started with last year, with his injury. This year, he's just not the same Kobe Bryant. LeBron James is the guy in the NBA. He is the guy. Every Tuesday night, NBA fan night on NBA TV, it feels like it's a damn Cleveland Cavaliers game. Why? Because he's the hot ticket. Everyone wants to watch him play because he is so spectacular at what he does. He's the Michael Jordan of this era. I'm not saying he is Michael Jordan. I'm not saying he's going to be better than Michael Jordan. There's really no way to test that because in different eras, things are judged differently. But he is the Michael Jordan of our time. He will be remembered as one of the best players there ever has been. And you can't doubt that. He is a hell of a player. And, I don't know, I think losing to Miami on Christmas Day sucks, but I think Cleveland will turn it around. Of course, they're in the East. They'll make the playoffs for sure. And it'll be an interesting East as well, because they're going to be an upset, or one of the top teams going to get upset this year? It's going to be interesting to watch. Lakers 93, Chicago 113. Last week I said, Lakers, hey, let's see what happens when we just keep Kobe Bryant out of the lineup. And they did. They did for 2 more games. Lakers falling on Christmas Day to Chicago. Not much you could do there. I was certain that Kobe Bryant would play. Watched an interview, and he was a little bummed about not being able to play. But he didn't play. And their coach is at least in charge. For a long time, I thought the Lakers' only head coach right there was Kobe Bryant. So, at least there is a coach making decisions down there. So hopefully he comes back. And I don't know, I just don't want him to peter out and be less of a player as he was. I want him to go out with a bang, I think Kobe Bryant deserves better. So, I don't know. He does. He's got multiple championships, I guess, but I feel like he just deserves better than what this Lakers team is. So maybe they trade him off. He gets one more wonder year with a better team. I don't know, but I would just love to see Kobe Bryant one more time be a contender. And this year I just don't think it's going to happen, not with the Wild West being the way it is. Golden State Warriors losing to the Clippers 100-86. I didn't watch this game, didn't really get the time. I came home, it was on, and I was watching a Santa Claus documentary. I took a bit of time off, and I started up a new series. That is actually the Christmas night, that I started to research for a new series I'm going to be doing on my channel, and it's going to be a NBA General Manager mode, and it's going to be for the Portland Trail Blazers. I'm all about being random. I didn't do this live, But this new general manager mode is going to be on Hall of Fame difficulty. It is going to be randomly chosen team, which was the Portland Trailblazers, and that'll be coming out later in, this month, probably 2 weeks from now. And it's one of my new initiatives for this for this year, 2015. I want to be a more professional player of the games that I play. I play basketball, but I've never been legitimately professional about it. I played GM mode a couple of times before, and both times I never felt like I was a professional about it. So this next NBA series that I'm doing is going to be me as the general manager of the Portland Trailblazers. I am going to go through hours of footage and edit it down. I've got 2 episodes done. They are edited up. They're not very exciting, but general manager mode, especially my general manager mode, isn't going to be about exciting gameplay footage. It's going to be almost strictly business, and I'm going to be talking to you in almost this sort of a tone, because it's going to be a business playthrough. I'm going to take the Portland Trailblazers and hopefully get to a championship. And I don't know. I haven't really paid too much attention. I've watched maybe 2 of their games this year when they were on, and they were both exciting. They have great players on their team, and from the first 2 episodes, I'm getting a sense that I may have found the secret to general manager mode. I think I know what I'm doing. Hopefully, episode 3, when it gets recorded, cut, edited, and done, I will have a better understanding. But that's all you're going to get right now. 2 weeks from now or so, when I debut that first episode, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But we will see if I can, get a championship first year. That's the whole goal of that series, by the way. I want a championship year 1. That's the goal of it. I want it done that year. If I fail, I fail. And that's going to suck. And I'll label myself a failure. But, hell, I mean, this year was a good year for me. 2015 is going to be a better year. I'm going to be a better player of these games. And it's going to be starting with General Manager Mode NBA. So stay tuned for that. Let's move on to number 2. Josh Smith's move to Houston goes from a bad situation to a great one. So the Detroit Pistons have been in a bad spot. Not only is Detroit not a very nice place to be, you're also working under Stan Van Gundy, former Magic head coach, had issues with Dwight Howard. They waived Josh Smith's contract, and now he's moving down to Houston, which is great, because now he's going with a teammate. He's going with Dwight Howard. They were former teammates, and now they get to work together again. They're good friends, so the chemistry's already there. It's not going to knock anything off of track. Houston's already going. They're great. They're a great team. And now they've got someone else who is also very reliable. He's a stud. And this is the final piece, I think, that the Rockets needed to win a championship. I think it's a great move for Josh Smith. I think it's a great move for Houston. Also, Mikhail signing a new contract with Houston is to be the head coach, and that's a great move on him as well. Mikhail, I know from NBA, being an NBA analyst on NBA TV. For the first year I got into basketball, maybe 3-4 years ago, he was the main NBA commentator for NBA TV, NBA Game Time, and that's how I got into other teams other than just the Utah Jazz. It's how I started to be more of a player, like in fantasy leagues and in sports talk, all that other type of stuff. So I'm very happy that he signed a contract. I think this is going to be a very good year for the Houston Rockets. I'm not going to say they're going to win it all, because it is the Wild Wild West, but I'm going to say they're going to be one of the top 2 teams in the West. It's going to be them versus another team for the championship of the West, and then they're going to move on to fight the winners of the East. And I don't know. I think right now, Houston Rockets are one of my locks. Maybe I'll do that for next week's segment, because next week it'll be January 7th. Shout out, birthday to my nephew. But January 7th, No, it'll be, yeah, well, 7th when I record it, 8th when it debuts. Um, so it'll be pretty far along, 3 months into the, so we'll be about halfway through the game year, I think. Are we halfway? I don't think so. I think I'll wait on that. I think I'll wait on that till All-Star Weekend or something like that. So the week before All-Star Weekend, I'll do official locks for my top 4 teams. Who's gonna make it in the West? Who's gonna make it in the East? Who's gonna win the playoffs? Who's gonna win the championship? I'll put in my thing. That'll be my timetable. But I think the Rockets right now are definitely going to be one of my picks. They've got Harden. As long as he stays healthy, I mean, that's an all-star team right there. But you also got Howard and now Josh Smith. And I think it's going to work out well for the Houston Rockets this year. Not a big fan of any of the Texas teams, but, James Harden is on my fantasy league, so what's good for him is good for me. Okay, Rookie Watch. On the NBA.com website, they had an article, and they were talking about the rookies and how they feel the rookies' development has been over the first part of this season. They have listed, in this order, the following. Mirotic at number 3, Andrew Wiggins at number 2, Jabari Parker at number 1, even though he's injured and out for the rest of the season. Maybe this is a outdated article, or maybe this is an article that they're only working on star power right now, but that is not the way I would have put that list. Jabari Parker is out for the season, so top rookie of the year, I would not think so. Of course, Nerlens Noel is also on the talk as well. He's on the 76ers, so I just wouldn't feel right about talking about him on such a piss-poor team. And I guess Andrew Wiggins doesn't really get that credit either. And I guess this is kind of why my list is as it is. I'd probably put Nerlens Noel at number 3, Jabari Parker at 4 because he's injured out, Andrew Wiggins at 2 because even on Minnesota he is making waves. And as soon as they all get healthy come January, I think they might have an uptake. And again, I'm saying you get Rubio back, you get Pekovic back. Kmart, I think, is still on that team. He's coming back as well, I believe. And you have a good starting lineup. Plus you have Budinger. He's always been a guy who I've liked as a shooter. And you've got a lot of other players on the Minnesota Timberwolves who aren't great, but they're good enough for an 8th spot if they really try. Maybe now, maybe not. Probably not. Not in the West. But they're an okay team, and they can make some moves to get good again. And I think they'll have an up curve at the end of this season when most of the West teams go, oh, well, we need to go easy on the Minnesota Timberwolves, rest our players, because it's an easy team to beat. And I think they're going to get some sneaky wins, and Timberwolves are going to even out. Maybe not 40-40 game score type thing, but they are going to be an okay team from here on forward. So that's what I'm predicting. I'll see if that's true. That's actually a personal prediction that I want to see through. So Andrew Wiggins, I feel like, is making waves, and I feel like he's a great rookie, but I don't think he's Rookie of the Year. I think Rookie of the Year so far goes back to my Rockets choice. And is Mirotic on the Rockets? He's got to be. Did I miss something? I swore Mirotic is on the Rockets, but now I'm having second weird thoughts. Now I'm thinking he's on New York. Shoot, this is something I should have for sure thought. Let me look real quick. Let me look for Mirotic. Bulls, duh, Chicago Bulls. Okay, so he's in the East. Mirotic is on the Bulls. I was thinking East for some reason. I was like, wait, why is he on the Rockets? He's not on the Rockets. I noted that down wrong. Mirotic on the Bulls, and that's a good team too. That's a great team, and I think Mirotic deserves Rookie of the Year if he stays, producing at the levels he was producing. Now, there is a little bit of worry in the article. It said there's a little bit of worry he's only capping 17 minutes per game right now, which sucks, to be honest, because, I mean, it said that he was thrown off of that the mid-20 minutes per game when he hit 30 points or something like that. It was like a crazy stat line. And they pulled him down. They pulled him down to 18 minutes. So I think he's really going to produce for the Chicago Bulls, and I feel like he will be a player, and I think he's going to be an okay player. He's already got name recognition. Like, I hear Mirotic, and I feel like I've heard that name for 2 or 3 years already. So he's already got name recognition. I think Parker and Wiggins will be the same way. Nerlens Noel, if he can get past this horrible team, I feel like, yeah, maybe he will have that recognition. He's already got a lot of defensive perks to him, but we'll have to see. So there's my rookie watch. I would have went Parker at 5, Noel at 4, Wiggins at 2. Oh, no, okay, Parker at 4, Noel at 3, Wiggins at 2, and Mirotic at number 1. So far this season, as in performance and team winning status. All right, number 4. Let's go to significant injuries here. And this is totally in order. So here we go. Atlanta, Al Horford. This dude, great dude. He's probable. Boston, Jared Sullinger, questionable. Good old Sully. I've loved Sully. I think I talked about Sully a couple weeks ago, or even in this past week. But he's out until late January. Or no, that's Jefferson. Sorry, I got my lines mixed up. He's questionable. Hopefully he returns soon. He's on my fantasy team. And as I said last week, he is a good guy. He's one of those diamonds in the rough. He's one of those people you don't have to pay too much for, and he will deliver near all-star quality. So hopefully he comes back into the game. He's very exciting to watch. Charlotte, Al Jefferson and Lance Stevenson out till mid and late January. And this is going to affect them. But I feel like they will probably make the playoffs as well. It's the East. There's not much going on there. And I feel like this injury is going to be a good midseason injury for them to come back and kind of get back into shape, take some time off. Lance Stevenson, of course, good player. Jefferson, an elite center as of last year, top 10, I think, last year, which I never liked him much when he was on the Jazz. But, he definitely has his perks. Okay, Cleveland, LeBron James and Kevin Love, both are questionable. So Cleveland has some nagging injuries. Not very serious at this moment, but serious enough that they are questionable for the next game. That's kind of a problem, because then you get the Cleveland Cavaliers back to where they were almost a year ago with only Dion Waiters and Kyrie Irving as their top guys, and Kyrie Irving already has the ball quite a bit, and that's one of the main arguments that the Cleveland Cavaliers might not be the great team this year as they should be, because ball sharing isn't happening as much. But once you get Kevin and LeBron back in, it'll be an okay team again, I think. So, Golden State Warriors, Bogut, he's out indefinitely. I think he's out for probably the season, quite some time. Andrew Bogut, but here was my question. Do the Golden State Warriors need Andrew Bogut at this point? I mean, it seems like they're doing an okay job with their offensive strategy, and they're scoring buku points with the Splash Brothers, Klay Thompson and the other guy. So I don't know if Bogut is definitely needed for the Golden State Warriors. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch if they need to get big. And this is another thing that actually came up on Inside the NBA was, do the Golden State Warriors need to be bigger to win the championship? And it's definitely a legitimate argument. Do they need to be bigger down low to win a championship? Kenny the Jet Smith always says that in this new era he doesn't think so. When older guys like Shaq think that, yeah, you need a guy who's big, who can stop the down low game of other teams. So by the end of this season, it is going to be really interesting to see if Golden State can prove people like Shaq wrong. So that'd be really interesting. Barkley as well, I believe, said that about them. Indiana Pacers, Paul George, likely out for the season. Was he the guy who had that horrible injury in summer camp or something where he jumped and his leg just snapped in half? I think he was. And not surprising if he's out for the season. Indiana trading off most of their players. Paul George out. I don't see a whole lot of success coming their way. But, yeah, Paul George out for the season. Lakers, Julius Randle out for the season. This guy, I remember his name, but I don't remember why. He's really young. He's a big guy. But I put him on this list because I remember his name, and I remember him being a player. I don't remember if it was in an NBA game or if it was in the actual NBA game, like the video game. But I remember his name, so I do think it's significant that he is out for the Lakers. I mean, they kind of need the help right now, and he's out for the season. Milwaukee. So yes, Miami would have been next. I don't really remember any injuries for Miami. Jabari Parker out for the season. This guy was probably going to be Rookie of the Year. He had the most minutes. He had the most opportunity to get the most points. And now he's out for the season. So I feel like, no, you're not going to get Rookie of the Year, friend. So it kind of sucks for Milwaukee, and me too, because he was on my damn fantasy team. I'm bloody cursed, ain't I? So let's skip on down to Alec Burks, out for the season as well, because I picked Burks up when Parker went out. So Parker's out because he was on my fantasy team, and now Burks is out because he's on my fantasy team. So now I'm picking up, who was it? Was it Aaron Bradley for Boston? I think it was. I think that was the name. I'm pretty sure that was. And I might have gotten it wrong. Could be like Bradley or something like that. But regardless, it's horrible that the two people that I've put have been injured out and they're out for the season. So, Aaron Bradley, I'm so sorry if you get out for the season because you're on my fantasy league. Please don't get injured out. Minnesota, this is the one I wanted to talk about. This was very interesting to me. It piqued my interest. Pekovic, Rubio, and Kmart out till mid-January. Mid-January is the rough time slot. They all were kind of different, but out till mid-January. I feel like in February, March, they're going to kind of have an upswing. So, like, if you're going to the casinos or something, I would imagine other teams like, Golden State to, not play as hard against Minnesota, and then Minnesota gets some sneaky wins. So if you're in a casino and you're making bets, hey, late January, February, March, bet on Minnesota because that's still a solid team, and I feel like teams are just going to kind of slack them off and say, they're not important. It's not an important win. It's just a gimme win tonight, and then you might have some upsets from Minnesota late in the season. New York Knicks, Carmelo's out, Stoudemire's out, Smith, Shumpert's out. The other are questionable, so they have nagging injuries as well. They're sitting at a 9-loss streak, which begs the question, are they injured physically or mentally? Is it in their head? Are they hurt up there in the head where they can't really fix it without having a winning record? Because I think they're like at something at 5-26. And that's not a healthy place to be. That's not a good place to be. And I don't feel bad for Carmelo. I've never really liked Carmelo Anthony. Too much of a shot taker. I guess he's very similar to Kobe Bryant, but I feel like Kobe Bryant has at least delivered. I don't think Carmelo has ever won the championship, has he? I don't believe so. Stoudemire, never really liked him. J.R. Smith, the same. He was on my fantasy league one year, totally chumped out. Shumpert was the other dude, I think, who had that horrible leg injury. He's out, so that's a bit of a bummer. But I don't know, the New York Knicks I just don't really like all that much. I'm not a big fan of the Knicks, never have been. There goes my mouse. Jesus. So, yeah, no big bones there. I don't really care about the Knicks. San Antonio Spurs, Kawhi Leonard, questionable. I put Quest, but I couldn't figure out why I put Quest. Questionable. And Parker out indefinitely. They'll probably be back by the end of the season, so I don't really see too much wrong, but, I mean, right now San Antonio's slipping. They're going to lose their home court advantage, and I would say this year, with the West being as tumultuous as it is, and the East being kind of a first sure bet between maybe 4 or 5 teams, I think I can give you this much. Final 4, Houston Rockets. And another guarantee I'm making this week, we will have a new NBA champion by the end of the season. I do not believe in the Spurs this season. I do not think they can do it. So I don't think we're going to have a repeat championship team here. Maybe, I don't know. It's too early to say who the Rockets will face. But I just don't believe it'll be the Spurs. Toronto, DeRozan out indefinitely. This guy is a stud. He's one of the people I've always loved watching play and dunk, and him being out really kind of hurts Toronto. I feel like they could use him. We talked about Alec Burks. Nene, Washington. Dude's a monster. Dude's a beast, and he is questionable. So, get back, Nene. They need you. All right, let's move on to number 5. Number 5 is Portland seeking a title. Of course they are. Damian Lillard, an elite point guard. Wesley Matthews, LaMarcus Aldridge, Lopez coming back, I think, late January. they're going to have a great starting lineup with a great bench to back them up. It's going to be impeccable. They're on top of the West right now. They've overtaken Golden State Warriors, and I feel like they're the team that can do it. Playing GM mode with their team has made me even more confident of that fact. I feel like this is a good stud team right now. I'm not comfortable with choosing them to be in the finals against Houston right now, but I could totally see it happening. It really just depends kind of how they rank out and how the brackets position themselves. So I'm not really comfortable in naming them as my number 2 team yet. You still got the Golden State Warriors, of course, but they're not big down low. I've got a lot of other questions. I feel like Houston Rockets have the best position so far in the NBA to be in the Final Four, and they're my pick. Portland is very, very close, though. I'm so pro Portland. Some of my family live in the Portland area. It's a beautiful place. Mountains, hills, trees, water. It's a great place. The Moda Center's pretty impressive. It's a great place, and I'd love to see them get a title up there before damn Washington gets another team. Alright, so I think we're about done. NBA jesters, let's start with number 1. Number 1, Gortat's haircut. Have you seen this dude? This dude is badass as hell, but he looks like a jester out there. He's got the spike mohawk with his hair. He's got the goofy beard. It's amazing, and it's not really a bad thing, but it's just out of the ordinary. And I don't know, who is he, Anderson from Miami? It's very strange, but Gortat's haircut gets number 1 jester. Number 2 jester, Alec Burks. This dude, you screwed me over this week on my fantasy league. You're injured out, and now I can't use you. That sucks, man. So you get number 2 jester. Number 3, New York Knicks, losing 9 in a row, and so are Minnesota. They're at a 9-loss streak as well. New York Knicks, though, oh my goodness, you're injured, you're losing, and you have Carmelo Anthony, Stoudemire, Shumpert, J.R. Smith. It's not, you have Jackson. What's going on? What's going on? You've got a great head coach, you've got a great general manager, you've got a great team, you have a great venue with a great fan support, you have money. What's the missing link here? You need to make some moves. Turn it around, New York. You get the number 3 jester of the week. Royals, here we go. Number 1, Portland Trailblazers. I think I talked about them enough. It's just so entertaining to watch a Portland Trailblazer game so far. I think they've been in overtime 3 times for sure in the last 2 or 3 weeks. That alone should get you to watch their games. Very exciting, very high-tempo basketball from the Portland Trailblazers. It's impressive. Like I said, again, it's like watching MLS and Barclays Premier League. There's such a huge difference in quality. So watch Portland Trailblazers game and vote for them on NBA fan game night because they're very fun to watch. Number 2, Tyrone Corbin. Royal number 2, Tyrone Corbin. This guy went from a horrible Jazz coach to now on the Sacramento Kings as interim head coach, and now he has lost that interim title for at least the remainder of the season. So, hey, cheers to you, Tyrone Corbin. I was never a big fan of you. I thought you were going to be an okay guy. You had an interesting strategy, being very consoling to the players, but I didn't feel that the Jazz needed that type of coach, which leads me to number 3, Royal of the Week, Coach Quinn Snyder. This dude is badass. If you guys don't know who Quinn Snyder is, he is the head coach of the Utah Jazz. This guy, alright, now if the Empire from the Star Wars was real, he would be an Empire Imperial officer. This dude just looks the part. You see the gif I'm putting up right now. This guy is insane. Here's the story, okay? In a game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, I believe it was, he calls a timeout, or a timeout gets called. He doesn't talk at all. He stares. And look at this gif that I'm showing you on the screen. He stares at them with that look the whole damn time. If that doesn't inspire you to go out and play better basketball, I don't know what does. Coach Quinn Snyder, good God, you're making a legacy. I feel like this guy is going to finally be the guy who can make a difference in Utah and finally get us a championship, so that's awesome. And Royal number 3. Applause. Bravo. Coach Quinn Snyder is a great guy. I liked the look of him when he first came in. Loved the coaching in the first couple of games. First 30 games, not doing a great job and not doing a horrible job either. And I feel like his changes are going to cultivate and really work out in the end. So Coach Quinn Snyder gets the 3rd Royal of the week. Look at that gif. Look at that. GIF, whatever it is. It's so mesmerizing. Look how evil he looks. It's crazy. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. That's it for the King's Court YouCast. Derek D. Ginger King giving you all of your daily, well, I guess weekly dosage of NBA stories. And you got your jesters, your royals. Again, this is a thing I want to keep going. So we're on episode 3. Worked out well. January 1st in the books. January 8th incoming. I'm looking forward to watching basketball, playing basketball. I got a new series incoming. I've got more segments in my mind to work out. I'm going to try to get someone who has a lot of NBA knowledge on the show. Maybe next week, maybe not. Maybe it'll be 2 weeks from now. I don't know. I'll have to talk to the person I have in mind. And we are going to find out if this is something that I can sustain. And here's the New Year's revolution, whatever it is, that I want to make about this specific series. I want, for at least a year, to keep on this track for one whole year until December. Well, whatever. It would be, let's see. Let's assume we stay on Thursdays for the whole year. Let's just assume here. Let's go, let's go back 2016, 2015 December. Let's assume Thursdays. Perfect. Thursday, December 31st is a Thursday. So we're looking at, like 52 more shows or something like that. I want to go for a full 52 more shows, and I want to see, 1, if I improve, 2, if I gain an audience, and 3, if this has become a successful thing. Getting an audience doesn't always mean success, so I just want to do those things. A bit of a long episode this time, a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of things I wanted to get off my chest and off my mind. And until next week, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This has been Derek D. Ginger King of the King's Court YouCast NBA edition. Checking out.